right to his opinion, even though it might be wrong.
Right to suck in these nuts, you mean, right?
There we go. All right, welcome back to the Med Podcast, everyone. My name is David, one of your hosts. The other hosts, Edward and Macy. Today I will be going first. I'm going to be talking about the new policies on Twitch, the recent change, and then recent addressing the change again. They're revising Twitch, how things are, their guidelines for nudity, suggestive dancing like twerking and pole dancing. Edward, Macy, what are your topics?
I think you might want to say that this is coming from an ex-Twitch employee or streamer.
I was about to say.
I mean, streamers are basically employees, right? You know what I'm saying? You're employed by the company, so
I work for Jeff Bezos.
Fair enough.
What?
Close enough. Anyways, my topic is going to be on the day before. Pretty much exactly what it is. I think anybody who's heard that name probably just felt a shiver go down their spine. But pretty much the day before, what happened with the game, pretty much where it's going, as well as some of the dev responses that I thought were really funny. Yeah, just give my opinion and 2 cents on the topic. Go ahead, Macy.
Okay. My topic for today is going to be on reality shifting, which is like a thing that's been trending, I guess, on TikTok, and I was reading about it on Twitter, so I thought it would be fun to explain and kind of shit on.
Okay, so we have normal topics, and then Macy comes out left field, apparently, with reality shifting, so there you go.
Obviously.
Now you know you came to the right podcast, you know what I'm saying?
Has to be.
I always come out with the fucking out of left field shit. Nobody knows what I'm talking about, so I don't know why you're surprised.
I mean,
That's not everyone.
like the last topic you had, I didn't even know about it, and people are just now talking about it. So you must be from the future or some shit, because you knew about it way before everybody else, apparently.
Couldn't even tell us about.
I just researched caffeine way too much, so I was like super fast on it, I guess.
Crazy.
I know too much about caffeine, bro.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. First-hand experience, 600 milligrams per day. Anyways.
I want to ask you. All right. Anyway. So I guess I will bring up the topic. So Friday, I believe today, Twitch began rolling back their policy about artistic nudity. Depictions of real or fictional nudity won't be allowed on Twitch regardless of the medium. They basically essentially just decided to say, hey, this kind of art will be allowed. And I think it got, I'd say, not popular, but the discussion came out when these 2 female streamers, and I don't remember their names, started dancing, or at least one specific one started dancing with her top off, but it didn't show her nipples. It only showed like the top and up, but you could like tell she was naked, at least for the top part. We don't know about the bottom. It didn't make any red flags. From what I know of, nothing happened. I saw clips on TikTok, people reacting to it, and then Twitch decided to say that art, like as in drawings and dancing and everything, also art as in dancing. Wait, yeah, I just said that, sorry. Was going to be allowed as long as you have some sort of tag on your title or on your stream saying that it's like adult content. And that they were going to try to find a way to make the homepage not suggest their content, that you have to search for it. So you'd have to like manually search for their account, or you'd have to search in the adult section. I don't know. I didn't. I'm just researching now.
Okay.
Interesting.
Today, they're rolling back on their change. So it's kind of weird how, to me, it seems like the president of Twitch just goes up to a podium and says, nudity, okay. And then now he's like, nudity, no.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like, what did you expect was gonna happen? Like,
Hold on,
such a
David.
bad decision.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need you to stop really quickly, because I feel like that entire first part was so poorly explained. I I came into this sort of not really knowing a lot. I know some of it, right? I don't know the other creator. I know one of them was MorgPie, but you explaining it, which is the purpose of, you know, the topic, you got to dive into the past or the history of it, explain what's going on, and then what happened. You confused me so fucking much with the way that you explained it. You kept saying this, that. I actually went over myself. You sound like you're presenting to a class, bro, and you're like stumbling on every word. That shit was so funny in my head. I'm gonna need you to re-explain it though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to. Goddamn.
I don't remember anything I said. Anyway,
holy fuck.
Wiped out.
I don't.
Buddy is talking on his ass.
Speak.
Talking on his ass. But
so to you two, nudity and quote unquote art has always been a very touchy subject on Twitch. Recently we started having hot tub streams, which a lot of people were very shocked about. Women in bathing suits, you know, in public, you're like, okay, like it's whatever. I didn't care much. The only thing like I was kind of like butthurt about was that like, oh, females can take advantage of this. Like guys, like what are we gonna do? But in my opinion, I think Twitch, and this is my opinion, and other platforms are more suggestive and helpful towards the females than the males. What do you guys think about the whole entire topic currently?
I mean, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yes, the policies do kind of help, like, women streamers, or, you know, generally just kind of any streamers that are, like, more so, because, I mean, we can't ignore that, like, male streamers or men can also take advantage of it. They just will have a much more, like, small or niche audience. Like, it's much less common to be interested. And, like, yes, these policies are helping that kind of creator to improve their audience and shit like that. But, like, it isn't necessarily, like, screwing over other types of content creators, so I don't really see the issue with it regards, like, in that regard specifically. Like, it's not fucking over every gaming creator. And, like, if in the event, you know, like, oh, like, I'm watching a streamer, you know, play Fortnite, and then all of a sudden, like, some rando topless streamer, like, decides to go on, and then I'm like, oh, fuck Fortnite, yeah, like, let me go watch that. Like, I just don't think that's a realistic scenario that's gonna happen enough that it's problematic, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. But, like, let's say, for example, if two female streamers of the same variety doing the same exact thing, but one is prettier than the other, it kind of.
But that's always going to be a thing. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That has nothing to do with whether or not they're nude. Like, that's true for gaming. That's true for literally everything. That's just human nature. Like, people are just going to gravitate towards the one that they find more, like, enjoyable to look at. And it sucks, but that's nothing that Twitch can do shit about. Like, unless everyone has to be fucking cam off and, like, robot voice, because it's the same thing for a voice. Like, I hate listening to certain people talk, and it sucks, but that's the truth.
Okay, now, with what you just said, Twitch can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The problem with Twitch and other platforms is that they always try to cover their ass, like they just did. They were reversing on their policy change because they realized, oh shit, we fucked up. When it comes to policies and changes that are negative, why do you think streaming services and just companies in general always try to play more than their hand? Like, they always try to fix something they don't have to. For example, with what you just brought up, there's always going to be girls that are prettier than others. Do you
And
think...
then just put that out there.
Oh yeah, and
For all genders.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's definitely, this topic is catered more towards women, because guys aren't really seen for their looks, unless...
Not necessarily true. There are some streamers that, like, they lose audience because they're ugly.
Okay, unless that they are actually doing something with their looks. But most of the time, you won't really be paying attention to their... Like, if they're gamers, you won't be paying attention to them. It's the game. So when it comes to the actual policies, why do you think that companies try to overplay their decision? They either double down or they try to fix decisions they can't even comprehend. Like when it comes to beauty, or when it comes to let's say nudity for the term's sake, because I can't think of a word for, I guess, like suggestive actions.
David, you keep saying that there seems to be no punishment. You do realize that these content creators were banned, right? Like, you realize that, and yes, some of them do fly under the radar, but the two in particular that the policy was clarified for, those two were banned. And the fact that this, Twitch, the actual streaming platform, or I guess their staff or whoever the fuck, the fact that they basically remade that policy for what's allowed on Twitch because it was so up in the air that they were able to do, those two streamers, and obviously seemingly more than them, were able to do some shit like this where they had the top of their cleavage just barely, above the bottom of the player. Like, that to me, first off, is crazy. And just because it was poorly explained, those two content creators were basically doing all that. I honestly don't know. It could be argued that it was for money. It could just be argued because that's, Twitch doesn't give a fuck whenever it comes to what streamers actually do on the platform. I think it's mainly, and I guess it can be argued as well, what female streamers do on the platform. But you keep saying like the policy, but you're not really explaining, like, what was the policy beforehand? Like, before it was clarified for whatever the fuck artistic nudity is, what the fuck was the policy beforehand that allowed them, in your opinion, to do something like this and basically get away with it?
So, I just looked at MorgPie. That is the video that I saw. So she was banned for doing this, and then they changed the policy. So wait, so just to make sure, because I haven't looked too much into it. So MorgPie was banned, then they changed their policy.
So I wouldn't say they changed it, because it was basically there, right? But think of it like this. It was vague. It was so fucking vague that people like MorgPie, which is one of them, the second one, I forgot her name, but I think she was on a stream with Speed. They both were able to, they were, I guess, were the examples that Twitch used after they gained popularity type shit on social media, Twitter going crazy about it. They basically changed that policy so it wasn't going to be as vague as it was before, where they included, artistic nudity, pole dancing, twerking, dances, and then the adult themed label that they would have to. So they would, I wouldn't say they changed the policy, they just specified in it. So it's still the same thing, but I don't remember what it was or what it was vague before, if that makes sense.
So I agree that it was vague because there was never the kind of like a 10 commandment type policy. It was kind of loose, and the fact that it was loose is what allowed certain activities. For example, like the hot tub streams, and I even saw some bathtub streams too. As long as there was no visible nudity, it was allowed. If there were accidental nudities, it depends. I remember Alinity like accidentally showed her nipple by accident, and then the devs didn't do anything. She's the one that suggested that she needed to get suspended because it wasn't right that she got nothing from that happening, but it happens to other girls and then they get banned or they get suspended. I don't exactly know what the policy was. I was reading that it did get more specific about how they were talking about certain like dances and certain like twerking and pole dancing became allowed. Like, even when I was streaming, I never read the policies. I didn't give a fuck because I knew I wasn't gonna do anything wrong. And if I did, then I guess I'd read the policies. But I can't really tell you what the policies were because I didn't look at them. I didn't care for them. Now it's weird because the reason why I brought it up earlier was because Twitch addressed this and people were like, oh, I can draw not safe for work stuff. And most people were drawing it And then apparently some people were drawing boners and stuff like that, and they got banned. And there was this huge uproar. Why am I getting banned for drawing not safe for work when I was allowed to? And apparently you're not supposed to draw boners, which wasn't specified because it was so vague. So that's why I'm saying, like, do you think it's a problem that Twitch is overdoing their hand in this, but not specifying? Like, they're trying to fix a mistake by making even bigger mistakes.
I mean, because people, you know, when they brought the whole policy of artistic nudity, I think you have to remember as well that Twitch is just a business. However they can make money, they're going to try to make money. Now, the only reason, in my opinion, why Twitch reverted a policy such as artistic nudity, whatever that means, is because they were getting such backlash from the community talking about how this is basically going to allow, you know, porn on what used to be, you know, Twitch is just one of those platforms where even if you're a kid, you just want to watch your favorite streamer, you would go on Twitch and watch your favorite streamer. Now, I don't know if you've been on Twitch recently.
Nope.
The last time I went on Twitch, there was a category I remember seeing, I think right next to just chatting, which was literally just bathtub streams, like swimwear. The fact that it had its own category to me was kind of funny, because I think before then it was sort of frowned upon. But you know, and you brought up the argument about how, you know, it seems to favor women more, at least when it comes to stuff like this, because guys can't do it, whatever that fucking means. But I think it's them. It's the women that are pushing the policies to its extent. And in my opinion, it is because of the money. Like, no matter what, that they can try to say, oh, I'm trying to do it to express myself, whatever. Fuck. No, like, they're doing it because of the money, because of the donations, because of anything else you want to say. And I think the reason they're flying under the radar is because they're making Twitch money. Now, if somebody points them out on social media, it goes viral. And then, you know, obviously there's people on basically saying that Twitch is turning into a porn site. They try to specify the policies so that they can allow that type of content. But over those couple of days where the policy was passed, there were a bunch of people, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned this, they were fucking drawing boners on stream. They had full, like, virtual reality, like, VTubers had their entire models on the screen with their boobs hanging out, their fucking vag. Like, it was just all on display. And then it seemed like after that, and I know that they had banned one of those VTubers, they had reverted the policy back because of the backlash. Now, I'm going to need you to clarify what you mean by play, or like overplay their hand. What do you mean by that?
So they have this huge decision about cracking down on the policy, I guess, and making it so it is not as vague and saying you can do this. I don't believe anywhere they said you can't do this, or at least if it did, they didn't like specify a lot. Like, of course, you, or at least I hope you can't have sex on Twitch, because some people are banned for it, and there was a very big problem with it, where this female streamer was caught having sex, and then I don't even think she got banned. I think she just got suspended, which is nuts to me. But I have to look into that. She might have gotten banned, but I don't think it was a life ban. I think it was just a soft ban.
So what's your, I guess, your basic, like, what is the argument that you're trying to make? Do you think that they should have cracked down more on the policy, or are you saying the opposite?
I think they should have just gotten their shit together, because on a topic like this, nudity, on what used to be maybe not child friendly, but like not family friendly. It was a general audience. It was like the main hub of all streaming before, like, YouTube streaming became a thing, before Kick, Facebook Live. There wasn't anything, I guess, that could be offensive or can be considered nudity at the time. And now we're in a stage that we're evolving, and they make a decision and then they go back on it. I don't think even like a week, maybe 2 days, they go back on the decision because they realize they messed up. I think they should have taken more time into consideration. Like, maybe it was a good decision, they just didn't take their time.
What do you think, Macy?
I mean, Yeah, I definitely agree. Like this is true for a lot of companies though. Like they want to jump ahead and like be like, wow, like I'm fixing the problem, but there's always going to be like, if they're rushing into it, they're not writing it very like strict. But honestly, all the time, like if you make a policy, there's always going to be like an immediate like, oh fuck, I need to amend that, because people read that policy and then either think they're okay to do something that was not like specified but wasn't okay, like with the drawing donors, or they immediately try to find loopholes to do something that is absolutely not okay, and they know it but it's not specified. So there's, yes, like it likely just wasn't specific enough, but you can't just write like the most detailed kind of thing in the entire world. Like you're always going to miss something, and then if you try to get super detailed, like it's just kind of a waste. So it's just one of those funny types of policies that you just have to keep amending as people come up with more creative things that need to be dealt with in like a situational basis, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. No document is perfect. Even the Constitution,
Yeah.
when the forefathers wrote it, they weren't expecting AK-47s and shit for like the Second Amendment, and they weren't expecting like it trying to be taken down because, of course, millions, okay, not billions, I don't think billions yet, but millions of illegal guns are out, not bought, and that's why the crime is so high. But that's just a side thing. That I'm agreeing with you that nothing is perfect in writing, that things will be overlooked.
Yeah. And that's like, we can always try to make things like better and like build policies to overcome issues, but at the end of the day, it's always just going to be kind of half-assed. They just half-assed it extra hard.
Edward, what do you think?
What do I think? I think when it comes to art, because I feel like that's really the main argument that a lot of people have when it comes to this type of shit is it art? You know what I'm saying? And you also keep saying nudity, which I just want to say it wasn't full nudity. Like there's a difference between nudity and then partial nudity, which is them basically flapping their boobs on stream just below or just above their fucking nipple line. But I hate the fact that everyone is always using like the word art. Like, oh, the way that I illustrate myself and my body and all this shit, it's art. Okay, well, it's art, whatever you want to call it. Now, for as long as I can remember, obviously, art's like an expression of you. You know what I'm saying? So yes, your body can be considered art, but it could also be argued if what people were doing on Twitch was actually considered art or not, considering they're making money off of it. And I can't, obviously you can make money off of your art, sure. But to me, it's very weird. And then after the policy changed, I'm pretty sure I already said this, if you went on Twitch, which somebody took a screenshot of it, if you went on Twitch and I think you looked at the most popular streams, it was literally all VTubers just showing naked shit, like naked drawings, dicks, boobs. That shit to me is funny. Now, would that be considered art? No, I don't think that'd be considered art at all. I actually think that, in my opinion, before I would probably said it's exploiting, the policies that they have on Twitch. But if that's what Twitch's policies outline, then they're just doing what they can. Like they're making money off of it. They're doing what the policy allows. And, obviously Twitch reverted that shit immediately. Why? I don't know. Why did they? I thought they liked money, considering that they had the goal to fucking try to specify that, oh yeah, no, we're going to allow it, which I think is what people were shocked the most about, that they even allowed it despite the backlash. But, and what can I say, right? It's Twitch. It's a streaming platform. They want to make money. They make money off of a lot of female streamers, which I think is, obviously why Pokimane is such a big like streamer on there. You see all the arguments that, oh my god, Pokimane, like who actually watches her, who donates her. It's all these, like keywords that I can't say because they're banned, and I'm pretty sure it's because of her streams.
Which is also stupid.
Like, it's those people. And that's another thing, right? I think Twitch and everyone realizes it, that sexual stuff sells. Like, if you can make anything sexualized, you can make money off of it, which is very sad. It's sad, but that's how it is.
I have a question. I could be wrong. I'm just gonna float this out there, and I'm gonna see how you guys feel. But women, partial nudity, drawings of nudity of males or women, and then being paid to do that by Twitch, you're technically either selling your drawings of nudity or selling the idea of you being nude for money. How long until that falls into the line of prostitution?
I mean, we have to really consider like what prostitution is. You're basically paying for somebody's services, and those services just happen to be, you know, sex, their body, shits like that. I think if you're already advertising your, or I wouldn't say advertising, but if you're already showing your body and somebody's just donating to you, I don't see how that would be similar.
I mean, because if like, okay, so for example, if it comes to the point where women are allowed, and men, not just women, sorry, I apologize, women and men are to be naked on stream as long as they categorize their stream to be 18 up. They are naked. Their services are to be naked for money. Like, they're getting paid to be naked. That's what their stream is.
You don't think that they would just be naked to be naked? Like, you I guess
no.
The thing would be as well is if you saw a policy that Twitch made and you thought it was really stupid, I think a lot of people did this, you would definitely try to push that boundary of the policy itself from how stupid it is. And people did do that. They started drawing dicks. They started doing all that stupid shit. So obviously, they probably were just making fun of the policy by doing that, seeing if they could get away with it. Now, obviously, the argument is, would, I guess, like them being naked on stream, doing it for money, I don't know. I can't really say. Everyone has their own, like, intention when it comes to streaming, what they want to do on stream. If you just decide one day you're just going to be naked in front of your stream, then, like, what if you don't get paid for it? You're still going to be naked?
It's because, like you said, the art, expressing yourself, they're not doing it for art, expressing themselves, they're doing it for money. If I was given the option to stream naked and still get paid, would I do it? No, because I'm self-conscious as fuck. But there are some people that would. And at that point, in my opinion, that is prostitution. And that is illegal. They are streaming on a private platform. I believe it's private. And privacy laws are very difficult. They're streaming nude, and Twitch is allowing that to happen as long as they have a tag saying that they're an age 18. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, and hypothetically, that being the case, they're saying, oh, I'm nude. I'm getting money for being nude. And in my opinion, that falls under prostitution, which is illegal.
Okay, so keep this in mind, right? Because I said let's basically break it down to what prostitution is. And just so I have Google's definition, I just did a quick Google search. So, you know, if you want to argue with it, then argue with Google. They'll probably assassinate you. But prostitution is defined as the practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activity with someone for payment. So, no, this would not be considered prostitution, David. The service that they're providing would be just the stream. Like, it's entertainment. They're providing you entertainment in return that you give them money so they can continue to provide them entertainment. Now, if someone is inherently funny, or if they're just funny by default, but they just so happen to be naked, and let's say it's a girl, she has her boobies out and she gets a donation, she's bouncing her titties around, would you consider that prostitution? I would not. I wouldn't consider that prostitution, because at the same time, like, yes, she's providing entertainment from just being funny and doing whatever fucking games, but here's a incentive. Like, here's my boobies jiggling when you fucking give a donation. Now, it may not be prostitution, but it's sad as fuck. Like, that to me is demeaning, and whoever donated that must be very desperate.
I concur there.
Anyways, Macy, did you want to say something, by the way?
I mean, not really. I think it's just kind of one of those ridiculous rabbit holes that it's always going to keep going in circles because everybody's desperate to make money, and everybody knows that's one of the best ways to do it if you're willing to do it. So it's always going to be a problem.
Everybody wants a blue check mark.
Yeah. And by the way, we hit our timer. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say, but there's one thing I want to say. I know people are going to blame the female streamers for it, which to some degree they are at fault, but it's not just a one-way street. It's really the people who are paying them as well. Because if they know that they can make a lot of money doing dumb shit like having their boobies out, because they know desperate men, and obviously you got to be inclusive now, so desperate women as well, they pay money to see that, they'll comment, they'll engage, which is good for the creator. So if they see that it's working and nothing in the policy states that it, or it's vague, that they can't be doing something like that, then why not just keep doing it? Why not just keep making more money?
Yeah, it also, like, not even law-wise, it's scary to me, because if you're doing all that, at what point are you going to be scared of when it comes too far? Because people aren't going to see you as a human being anymore. They're just going to see you as something there to offer them pleasure, offer them like serotonin levels to get off.
You realize that's already a thing. Like, that's just what it is to be an influencer, not just sex influencer.
No, but like I'm saying, if it gets to that point.
But it's already like, that's how people see a lot of celebrities, is they are just a thing that is on the other side of the screen that is funny and it brings them joy or whatever. Like, it's not just for people that are like sexualizing themselves.
Yes, but there's a big difference with them being fully clothed and, okay, there's a difference between someone who is just being who they are and like playing video games. Just like, let's not like add flirtation, like a regular gamer, and then someone who is actively trying to bring in certain individuals who we know who they are, who are desperate, who want satisfaction and all that, and they're using them to get money. Those are two different kinds of people, in my opinion. So once you take in the nudity, I think that's the final like nail in the coffin, where now you can't really say anything about yourself. If someone like if someone like offends you, you can't say anything, in my opinion, at least, because you've kind of not lost the right to, but you put yourself out there for everyone to be seen physically. I don't think that can be taken away. That's the internet.
Uh-huh.
That is all.
Honestly,
I'm just gonna leave that alone then.
I have no idea what the hell you just said. Like, it sounded like you were losing your train of thought midway there, and then you lost me. But I guess, in my opinion, if you put yourself out there and, someone starts making nasty comments, and I know this is an argument that a lot of like people like to make. It's like, well, you should expect that, it's the internet. To some degree, yes, you should expect that. But at the same time, don't let it deter you. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't just for artistic nudity type shit, but just any content in general. If you get a nasty comment, just delete that shit, bro. Like, there's too much going on. Life is too short. You might as well just keep doing what you're doing. If you're making money off of it from being fucking nude, from desperate men, which is what they're basically doing on OnlyFans, then shit, make money off the desperate men. Fuck it. Like, they're stupid enough to donate to you. So do what you gotta. That's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Also mention, to be completely honest, like, Twitch still does have those issues. There's a lot of like cosplay streamers, especially, that like, you don't have to be nude to be sexy to like make men simp.
Oh, you said the forbidden word. You said the name we don't speak of.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that was not allowed. My bad.
Might as well say the other one then. Incel. Obviously, incels and simps. Like, you might as well just say both the forbidden words. I'm about to get banished here to the fucking Shadow Realm.
The forbidden one.
My bad. But the like best example I can think of is there is a content creator I used to follow because like she was really like, I loved her content. But recently, like, she's always streaming on Twitch, and like, yeah, she also does have an OF and stuff like that. But even on Twitch, like, she posts, like, she used to post on Snap all the time, stuff like her outfits for Twitch, and they were all very much like all of the people who followed her at that point were just like, people were like, oh my god, mommy lints are like, it's not just nudity. Like, you can still do it now, and you can still like objectify yourself in that way and make yourself kind of like, ooh, blah, 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 like I'm just such a pretty little girl, blah, blah. It's still a thing now, and that's why I stopped following her, because it was kind of fucking gross. But
yeah, in my eyes, that would just be like suggestive content. People already do that now, so
yeah.
But again,
but it was like a cosplay, so it's completely different. She was not nude in any way whatsoever. It was just the cosplay outfit was skimpy.
Well, there you go. People love anime, right? They love any form of cosplay, games. And what are the odds that, you know, a girl streamer that you just like happens to cosplay a girl in a game or a girl in anime that you love and that you simp over, and then boom, got 2 and 2. Let me just send my money, let me send my whole mortgage, and then boom, you get a high five and a thank you with your name written on the board, and then there you go, you're homeless. Happy? But yeah, well, I guess we'll just kind of move along then. I can go ahead and go second. So my topic is going to be on the day before. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with the day before, it's basically bare bones. It's a game. It's supposed to be a third-person shooter game that can be somewhat compared, the gameplay itself, to The Last of Us, as well as, I guess, like not PUBG, but I guess the UI of PUBG is what I'd say. Sort of the aspects of like crafting a bench, opening your backpack, scouring the world for resources and shit like that. Now, what the developers define the day before the game itself is that it's an MMO survival open world game that's just zombies in a post-apocalyptic world where it's zombies. So think of The Last of Us combined with PUBG's looting mechanic, I guess. I don't even know what a fucking word would be for that. But this game was teased back, I believe, in 2018. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen the trailer, but the trailer for it, or I guess what they called the teaser trailer for it, basically just showed a quick demo of what players could expect, which the demo for it looked crazy. Think of The Last of Us, like The Last of Us 2. I don't know if you've seen graphics like that. Think of the best graphics you've ever seen in your life with the best physics you've ever seen in your life. Combine that with RTX, and then boom, you basically have the demo that they showed for the Last of Us. It had voice chat. In some way, it was similar to The Division, which is just set in another post-apocalyptic world without the zombies. But that's pretty much what it was. Now, people were excited for it. One, because they love the game The Last of Us. They love every, PUBG, whatever the fuck, The Division. But the game showed something really cool for a game in 2018. Now, 5 years in development, this game was released, I think, on Monday or Tuesday, wherever the 7th was. So it was released on the 7th, which was actually last week, Thursday. And keep in mind, I don't think they did any advertising aside from the New York billboard that they showed for it. I didn't see any other advertising on YouTube. But the game was released basically a bare-boned version of what was showed in 2018. So think of it as they showed this amazing trailer, right? And then when the game actually releases, it looks like the game is in alpha. Like the meshes aren't fully loaded. Everything looks clunky. There's a bunch of fucking glitches. The gameplay completely changed. And I guess to top it all off, there were no zombies in it. I don't even think there was voice chat. It was just text. And then there's no melee in a third-person shooter. So the main argument that a lot of people had for this game, aside from false advertisement, is that it was an asset flip. Now, basically what an asset flip is developers taking repurchase or just purchasing, I guess, pre-developed assets from a market, putting it in their game, and then basically swearing that their team worked day and night, that they made those assets, I guess. Now, just to bring you guys into the argument before I keep going off, what do you think about false advertisement? When's the last time you think you've seen something that was falsely advertised before and didn't work when you got it?
Well, false advertisement is illegal. The last time I ran into it was in the case with Bang Energy. they went bankrupt because they were sued for false advertisement. Their drink was said to be able to do things that were not possible. And then I believe Monster Energy is who sued them, and they won the case, and Bang Energy declared bankruptcy.
Red Bull gives you wings. Perfect. Basically. Now, I also just want to show you guys this because I feel like if I keep talking about this, you're still not going to know what I'm talking about. So here was the announcement trailer they did. This was the first trailer they showed, presumably in 2018. I guess I lied. It was just 2 years ago, which obviously 2 years ago was in 2021. But this trailer basically gave them, or the gamers, a taste of what it would look like. Now, the main spot I really just want you to look at is if you open that and go to timestamp 219, you can see sort of similar gameplay of what The Last of Us was. And there's a part in there where he throws a grenade, and you can see the physics in the actual engine itself, where it blows up. You know, there's people, or there's fruits flying around everywhere, the lights going everywhere. But that's pretty much what got people excited for the game, was basically just this gameplay right here. And if you want an exact timestamp, it's at 2:44.
Well, I was mostly upset because at first they said, "Oh, our game sucks. We no longer have money. We are shutting down, and we are not refunding you for buying the game." That shit pissed me off because that was the literal definition of a cash grab.
Okay,
But then someone came in to the new company, or the new company they made under a new name, and they started refunding people. So far, I've only seen streamers get refunded. But yeah.
I mean, that's sort of jumping the gun there, David. Pretty much a whole ass timestamp. But again, just if you want to see that gameplay, that's basically what it was. There was a second trailer that came out, and here it is. It was considered the official gameplay trailer, which, if you look at it, looks nothing like the announcement trailer they had. In fact, I don't know if you saw this one, David, but the gameplay trailer, the first beginning where it shows those, like, you know, cut together clips of it going between people like shooting, sometimes cinematic, you'll see zombies down the hall, the lights are flashing. They said that it was a copy and paste of, I think, a lot of different trailers, but more notably the Cold War trailer for zombies. It was basically a cut shot for shot trailer of it, which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, like you said, David, the game was released on the 7th. Obviously it had a bunch of negative reviews on stream. People were considering it an asset flip, and that the game was just a cash grab. They also felt like they were scammed. And ironically, and I know one of these previous podcasts we had, you know, with developers, how they like to release games with fucking notes, apology notes at least. And it's Fntastic. Fntastic is the developers for this game. They released a note, which they basically said, you know, to our future players who dive in the game, thank you for believing in us. We hope you enjoy the game, type of shit. To the people who didn't believe in us, they said, you know, generous, they made the game for you as well. But they said, don't accuse them of scamming and don't accuse them of asset flip. Basically saying that they didn't take a penny from anybody. You know, they didn't have a Kickstarter or nothing like that where people had to donate. And their team has been working on this day and night for 5 years. Now,
Which is a lie.
Yeah, which is a lie. Now, the official trailer that they released was even worse, and here's that for you, where it's basically like a Forza game. It's just fucking cars driving around. Doesn't show shit. And remember, this is a zombie game, right? This is supposed to be zombies. It's post-apocalyptic. Now, when players actually got their hands on the game, aside from all the glitches that they had, and, you know, them not being able to do shit, a lot of them started to refund it. And 4 days after the game had been released, which is basically what David had mentioned, Fntastic actually released a statement saying that they're closing down. They're closing down, which is not funny. It's not funny. You should never prey on the downfall of, you know, companies.
No, it is
Not funny.
But yeah, no, they're closing down. And it was due to the financial failure that the day before had.
Of course.
Now, I can't remember the last time I remember a studio shutting down, but this one would definitely be one for the books. They basically said that all the income that they received from the game is being used to pay off their debts to the partners.
They're investors. Yeah.
Yeah, partners and investors.
I don't believe that for a fucking second. That they're 4 games after their game dropped, they just lost all their money and it did so bad. A lot of people bought the game. How could your company, after 5 years of developing this, after 4 days, been like, oh, oops, we're gone. Oh, and fuck you, we're making a new company.
Well, I wouldn't say they made a new company, because I think what you're referring to is Mytona, which Mytona is considered one of their investors, quote unquote, which is what they basically said as an investor of the day before. Somebody actually found out that Mytona and Fntastic are from the same fucking, I think, parent company. So they technically, I don't even know
about something different.
Are you talking about 8 Points?
Yes.
Okay, because 8 Points isn't a new company. They had just changed their name from Fntastic to 8 Points, which they released a statement on that as well, saying that they are, like, Fntastic is still closing and they haven't changed anything, but on Steam it shows that their name went back to 8 Points as a developer. Now, you know, obviously, I didn't get my hands on a copy of the day before. I did see a lot of reviews on it from other people that did play it. And basically what it is an extraction shooter. They just go out into the world, collect loot, kill zombies, quote unquote, and then extract. And that's it. They go back to home base or whatever the fuck. Now, the biggest problem that a lot of people had was the main point of it, which was the zombies. There were no zombies. There weren't any zombies, period. They weren't populating the city. They weren't populating, you know, any buildings, no houses.
They forgot to add them.
Pretty much. Or, you know, they decided to turn the zombies all the way down. So, I guess in some aspect, you know, just like the fucking gameplay trailer, they were just running around for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. A lot of streamers obviously did play the game, and they called it dog shit, which
Really?
is fair to say. Now, you know, Fntastic did allegedly close down. They said they wanted to thank everybody for, you know, participating in the game. They had miscalculated, which sounds dumb as fuck, how hard it would be to make a game, which I don't know if you've played any of their previous games, but their most recent one was Prop Night. And Macy, I think you had actually mentioned one time that you had saw Prop Night and you said that you wanted to play it, which is basically what's the...
Yeah, is it Prop Hunt?
Yeah, Prop Hunt. There you go.
Yeah, I love watching people play it. It's fun as hell.
Yeah, Prop Night, unfortunately, was made by Fntastic. So the developers are closing down their buildings, so there's no more fucking updates for Prop Night. Now, I'm not a big Prop Hunt person. Obviously, I don't care for it. It is fun, though. I think the fact that people bought a game like Prop Night just without seeing the reviews, you know, just me going off on a tangent here is kind of fucking sad that we can't really trust developers nowadays. But I guess sort of to get your opinion on these things, especially you, Macy. I know you haven't talked yet about it. What do you think about people scamming, especially developers, when it comes to games? And, you know, a game 5 years in development, when you're hyping everybody up. And by the way, they were considered the most wishlist game on Steam. Why do you think that they couldn't finish a game like this in the 5 years that they had advertised?
I mean, they put this trailer on 2018, right?
Well, the trailer on IGN.
Well, not the trailer. What's it called? What's it called?
The what?
It's not the trailer, the other thing.
The announcement?
The announcement trailer? Or the gameplay? The game?
I don't know. The very first one that you said like had all of the shit. Like it was like there was the zombies and like the mechanics, throwing a grenade, like all the shit.
It was the announcement trailer.
Okay, yeah. So they put that out like forever ago, right? Like how did they make the mechanics and make it look so pretty in that? Like was it just animated? Like,
well,
I assume, right?
Like, that's why people say it's considered an asset flip, because you can buy certain things. You know, obviously Unreal Engine has their own market where you can go into the market, buy certain assets. Like if you need a car, right? You need a car in a game, you can just go to Unreal Engine store, buy a car for $79.95. You get 5 cars with it that you can implement in any game. I assume that's what they did here. They put together a polished trailer, which is what a lot of companies actually do. You know, Ubisoft is one of them. They're infamous for putting together these crazy looking trailers, and then underdeveloping with what was shown. You know, Watch Dogs, unfortunately, the first game was one of them. The Division is another one as well. They had these big, like crazy looking explosions. I'm sure you saw the trailer, had crazy fucking grenade explosion, the fruits, vegetables flying around, the lights going in and out. Why do you think they'd lie for something like this, though?
I feel like it's not like intentionally lying at first. I'm sure that that's what they really wanted for the game, but they just overestimated how much they could accomplish in 5 years and how difficult it would be to make that a reality in terms of an actual gameplay, like actual game, rather than just like a mini trailer kind of thing. I think it really is just like oversetting your expectations. And then, I mean, how long have they been working on GTA 6? Like, that's relevant. Like, they've been fucking on that for 13 years because they want to be good. But for a game like this, they probably don't have 13 years to like work on it. Like, they have to produce something while it's still anticipated. And they can't be like, oh, like, we're going to make this game in the next 20 years. You know, like, they have to give themselves a deadline, and they just didn't meet it. And they didn't do the right thing and say, hey, guys, it's not done yet.
Well, I mean, like, that could also be argued. Why didn't they just release the gameplay or the game that was shown in the announcement trailer? Why didn't they just release that game?
Because it wasn't done.
I mean, David, you saw that trailer, didn't you? You think that game looked done? In my opinion, what we got, it for sure was an improvement. Now, there's obviously a lot of details that I'm leaving out, just so I guess we kind of go with them together. One of the biggest things that people had a problem with this game was that it wasn't real. A lot of people were speculating that the game the day before actually wasn't real because it was being delayed so many times. Now, we've obviously seen what delaying a game, especially when you promise a date, we get close to the date, and then the developers fucking delay it, what it can do to a game. You obviously saw what happened with Cyberpunk, for example. You know, when it was released as well, it had a very clunky, very laggy. A lot of people just weren't liking the gameplay. It was unfinished, basically.
Yeah.
And I think they also had 10 years of development. That shit was announced in 2012. Like, that is crazy that they would basically push it back by 10 years. But I mean, why do you think that them delaying a game basically loses, the gamers, why they lose faith in something like that? And I guess it's more pioneer towards you, David. I mean, you're a gamer, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't really know how to respond because I don't give a shit about a lot of that stuff.
So you're asking why would they announce something at a date and then push it back, is what you're saying?
Well, basically, why do you think, in your opinion, a developer would do that? And I guess that, the reason for that's easy, but how it impacts the gamer as well, and why a game like the day before would be considered a game that doesn't exist because of it.
I'm so lost. I'm going to be honest. I'm so lost in this conversation.
There are people currently defending the game, which, in my opinion... Okay, I'm not even going to get to that right now. Someone says, labs_games, my guess is that the day before started out as an extremely overambitious game, but not an outright rug pull. Maybe they built a vertical slice that was a bit lofty. Maybe a creative leader was writing checks that the developers couldn't cash. Along the way, it was clear the game would have to be drastically scaled back. So, they're not Rockstar. Rockstar is known for coming out with good games, bangers even, and they've been working on GTA 6, which I heard you guys talk about, for 13 years now. They've been working on this, quote unquote, for 5 years, allegedly. In my opinion, so the game that I can compare this to the most isn't Division or Last of Us, it's Tarkov. And they might not be the same, but it gives me that vibe when I was seeing Asmon play it, when I was seeing other streamers play it. This game looks just like Tarkov. Tarkov is not meant to be beautiful. The graphics aren't great. The graphics aren't even that good. It's just meant for the gameplay. The gameplay is what really makes it well. It's very hyper realistic. when I saw the trailer, which was the first time I saw it today, the announcement trailer, that game, in my opinion, looks maybe not finished, but it looks like a game. Like they could have published the game when the announcement trailer went out, in my opinion. Now, sadly, as I said, they're not Rockstar, so maybe Fntastic just literally could not keep up. They had 5 years to make a game and they just couldn't do it. In my opinion, another side note beforehand, maybe their company wasn't big enough. Maybe they didn't have enough people to make the game. That could be another thing. But in my opinion, I think they just fucking lied to us, tried to get money, changed the name of their company, and are now making other games. I think they are literally just a cash grab company. And I think it's sick. I think that Steam shouldn't allow them to be on their marketplace, shouldn't allow them to make more games. Like, kind of like how League of Legends did with Tyler 1, IP banned them, so they can't get onto the site.
Okay. I don't disagree with anything you said, but you also brought up they weren't a big enough company. And I remember seeing this somewhere that Fntastic was actually, they weren't even, I don't think it was employing, I don't think anybody was being paid. They had volunteers develop the game. So it wasn't even actual paid employees, at least from what I consider what a volunteer is. They had volunteers making the fucking game. And there's a lot of ex-employees coming out now saying that the game, obviously the company itself was headed by two individuals particularly that are very demented people. All of a sudden the game goes out after 4 days. They're nowhere to be found. So I guess, I can see why it's considered a cash grab and a rug pull. I don't know what fucking comment you were reading. I guess rug pull, I don't know if it would work in this scenario because rug pull is usually, an investment type shit. But no, I would definitely consider it a rug pull. Like they knew what they were doing when they showed that announcement trailer. The fact that it got everybody so hyped that it became the #1 most wish-listed game on Steam just tells you enough that there's a market for people that want to play games like that. Now, obviously you can't really say whether or not, you can't blame the volunteers for they're sort of under the direction of the company itself. But what they put together wasn't even a game. It was bare bones. Like it was a corpse, a spine of what a game should be. It didn't have essential mechanics that a 2023 game would have. Like, I think voice chat to me seems like such a minimal thing that they could have easily added. Melee is another thing, just allowing players to hit if their gun, doesn't have any fucking ammo. I honestly don't remember too much about the game, but fuck, I don't even know.
Wait, quick question. Are your servers shutting down? Or are you, like, on Discord, are your servers not able to be accessed?
No, I don't think so.
Because some people and I have been looking. I can't access my server or some other servers. There are exclamation marks. And the servers can't be accessed, but other servers can.
I only see one server like that online.
Is it mine?
Oh no, I see yours as well. That's so tough.
Like what? I don't know what's going, because like someone just mentioned it to me.
Probably under maintenance. But
Yours, my personal server that I just send like all the things from my phone to my computer for, that's just me. And the Dungeons and Dragons server that I got into when I did Patreon for a month, so it's probably because I got kicked out.
Okay, sorry, it was a side note because I looked to my right and I just started seeing all of these servers getting like exclamation points and flagged.
It could be a connectivity issue on Discord's end, but I'm sure, it'll be resolved however long it takes.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I kind of lost my train of thought now. But people were making the joke that the day before was made the day before it was actually set to release, which I think is evident in what we got as a game. And it just goes to show how important it is that developers actually keep their word when it comes to games that they showcase at events. Because it's, obviously, I can understand that there'll be some graphical differences, optimizations, whatever you want to call it, to keep up with modern PCs, what they show at these events probably can't be to that extent because it wouldn't be feasible. It wouldn't be efficient on everybody's computer. But I think they could have developed an actual game with the 5 years that they had, all the work they had. And I don't think using Rockstar, because I know I've seen some people do it. I don't think using Rockstar is a good comparison. Because yes, Rockstar takes a long fucking time, but the games that they put out actually show for it. You know what I mean? Like the Red Dead Redemption 2 was crazy.
Yeah, because I was gonna compare like Fntastic to Call of Duty, but I can't do that respectively because Modern Warfare and Call of Duty, it's the same game every year. They use the same engine. So I was gonna be like, if this company can make a game every year, but they're actually lazy as shit and they're not doing anything, they're just fucking uploading their game.
Yeah, and then also the argument and that they actually did release it was in early access. What does that say about early access games? Because, obviously early access games are games that you can follow with the developers along as they release updates. But for some reason, this game releases in early access, even though that shit looked like it was fucking pre-alpha, and people think that developers were using that as an excuse to release an unfinished game, which I don't have a problem with pre-alpha games. Look at The Forest, for example. The Forest game was in early access for 5 years? The fuck? Like that shit was in early access. I think Fortnite is actually still in early access. Or not early access, but what should we call it? It's never finished. I think they had that early access bullshit for 4 years.
There are games that are doing well, like Forest, early access, Sons of the Forest, early access, Ark, early access, and they're all amazing, marvelous games. So I don't think early access is a thing where you can be like, oh no, the game's not good. No, early access games can clearly be good. It's just that it stop making excuses. The company's dog shit. The people are dog shit. Like they just tried to do something stupid and it didn't work.
Exactly. And I guess this can also be made an argument, and hopefully Macy, you can join up on this, is developers, showing again, over-promising what they develop or what they deliver, and then games like Baldur's Gate that actually come out the fucking gate with such a polished stuff, a game itself, they get anxious by it. They get jealous, angry. They want to, I think Baldur's Gate actually had somebody try to sue them because of it.
Yeah.
One of these developers,
Microsoft, I believe. Yeah.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you, in your opinion, and it doesn't have to be no scientific fucking reason, in your opinion, why do you think they overpromise, underdeliver, and then get mad when somebody, I wouldn't say overpromised, but promises a game that they deliver exactly?
Is this towards me or towards Macy?
It's for both of you, but I'm hoping Macy can give her 2 cents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Macy, go ahead because you haven't spoken much.
Yeah, because I just don't really, I'm lost on whatever you're talking about. I've been trying to follow along. I just cannot. But
that's okay.
with regards to why they keep over-promising and under-delivering and then get mad when other people do it, is because that's how they feel is the best utilization of money, and for the most part the public accepts it until somebody else shows that that's not supposed to be the norm. And if they can just make that the norm, then nobody's gonna be mad, and they're making more money than ever for putting out as little effort as possible because they're understaffing as much as possible. And they just want to keep putting things out like Nintendo every fucking 6 months with a new game that's basically the exact same game, or a shitty underfinished non-finished game, because every 6 months they're getting $60 per game and they're selling like crazy.
Yeah, dead ass. I'm starting to get mad now because the fact that we've gone from games being fully completed and fully done, no bugs, no nothing, back in 2013 when I first played on my PlayStation 3, to now developers are being like, oh, we're lazy, we're gonna update it with you guys. Fuck you.
Okay. Okay.
Don't fuck yourself.
I'm pretty sure we both know you want to say one word in particular, but we can't say it because we're on the podcast.
Well, I want to say multiple words, but they're all banned.
I mean, we already let 2 of them rip, and those are the forbidden ones. So, I mean, are you going to cast a spell or something?
Better say the wrong F word, do you feel me?
Okay, we'll pretend like we didn't hear that one. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. I don't know why developers like to do shit like that. And then the fact, when the audience, I guess the people that play it, when they get mad and they voice their opinions, it basically just falls upon, you know, deaf ears. They just throw it away. They don't acknowledge it. And then you have somebody, you know, like Christopher Judge at fucking the Game Awards. He makes a comment, and, you know, this is just going to be for Call of Duty's sake. He made a comment basically saying his fucking speech is longer than the campaign. And then they actually got mad about that. They actually took to Twitter to comment on it. I think that's such a... That to me is pathetic as fuck. That you're listening to a celebrity, somebody who has a following, versus people who are actually, you know, your committed fans, which that just pees me off.
Yeah,
but anyways,
that's the other thing that pisses me off. The fact that, because you didn't bring this up much, Baldur's Gate was being sued because it was too good of a game, and they wanted to say, don't keep your expectations like Baldur's Gate for games to keep coming out. And I was so fucking mad. You are saying right now, don't keep my expectations high. Don't make me expect you to work hard because you're a lazy asshole just because these guys made a amazing game that got Game of the Year, best voice actor. Fuck you, Spider-Man fans.
well, I didn't mention it because it's not, you know, we're not discussing Baldur's Gate 3, but the statement still stands. I understand it.
The fact that, like, game companies are getting too much slack. Like, you guys gotta step your shit up. Baldur's Gate is the new expectation. Either get with it or get lost.
There you go. Now on a lighter note, thankfully Steam is working, or I guess Fntastic, quote unquote, is working with Steam and Mytona to issue refunds, you know, to the people that bought the game that were disappointed with it. I also think it's funny that, you know, the company Fntastic tried to buy bots, which is a legend. They tried to buy bots to raise up the Steam reviews so it wasn't as bad as people were making it seem. But thankfully, everybody who bought the game actually commented to show that it was a fucking scam. It was a rug pull. They underdeveloped a fucking game, tried to put it at a price which we didn't even talk about. The fucking game was $40. Like $40 for dog shit is crazy.
Too much.
The fucking, what is this? Spider-Man Miles Morales is $40, I think, or 50, I don't remember. But like, just putting that at that price point means it should be a great fucking game. It wasn't. In fact, it was so goddamn bad the company had to close down. But they are issuing refunds. Like you had mentioned, David, the company Fntastic, they not rebranded, they sort of reverted their name back to 8 Points, which people are speculating that they're doing that to get away from this whole the day before mess. They're trying to disassociate as much. You know, obviously the two developers, or the head of a development company from Fntastic, I forgot their fucking names. They disappeared. Like they just completely disappeared. So, you know, well, people are making a lot of threatening comments on Discord saying that if they find these developers, they're going to, you know what? Okay. I can't say, but
as much as I hate people in the world, you can't make threats. Like, you can't make active threats or violent threats. That's not allowed. No one should do that on air.
The point.
On air, okay, buddy. All right. Well, we hit our timer. In fact, I actually forgot to time this one, so we're way past our fucking timer. But there was one thing I want to.
Let's go.
Calm down.
I was gonna kind of say, like, didn't we set it to 15 or 20 minutes? Like, I think it's.
Maybe be talking ass.
I just want to say one last thing about this, and this is a direct comment, which I think is going to show how much Fntastic actually cares about their customer service and the gamers. So this comes from Hypershot on Twitter, or X, whatever the fuck. He basically said, unbelievable that you guys hyped this game up so much, and this is the end result. You guys are an absolute disgrace to the video game industry.
Preach.
Now, Fntastic being the corporation that it is, you know, obviously being a company, they obviously have to value their, you know, their fans. What kind of response do you think they made to this comment?
You're a clown.
Basically. Macy, do you have you want to guess or what?
Tough.
Pretty much. So they said, this was our first big experience. Shit happens.
Oh my god, I remember reading that, yeah.
That comment, that reply got fucking 1.3 million views. And everybody in that comment section, which the first one is literally shit happens. You blatantly misled people with your gameplay trailers that were completely fake and didn't represent the released product at all. You lied, got caught red-handed, and want to misdirect your fuck-ups. By the way, I completely forgot to mention this. They started deleting their trailers that showed that it was an actual open world game from their YouTube. Like, if that there doesn't tell you that this game was a fucking scam from the start, I don't know what is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say on this topic. I guess the reason why it was hard to follow along, especially for you, Macy, was because I kind of went into this assuming that you both had heard of this already. But the only other gamer in here is David. I don't know if he heard it or not, but the only one who would have, you know, a somewhat similar experience to almost being fucking rugged would probably be him.
I mean, I've heard of it because you've been talking about it for the past few days, and like I hear you listening to shit about it, but I don't know really anything about like other games. You guys just kept pulling games out and be like, it's kind of like this game, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, sure.
Yeah, Fntastic is the game developer, like how Robinhood is the stock market. Think about it.
It's true.
Pretty much. And again, obviously the volunteers, I don't think it's their fault. The people that were quote unquote employed by Fntastic to make this game, I think they tried very best with the deadlines that they were given. Now, I don't know the whole situation, but I know a lot of them are coming out speaking about how terrible experience it was working with Fntastic, working with the two people in particular that I keep forgetting their names. I think one of them is named Ed.
Not to mention too, like if you're working with volunteers, there's going to be a really high turnover rate, and they're most likely not going to be as experienced as someone you're willing to pay. So that's probably why they made no fucking progress on the game. But that's such an obvious oversight that it makes it feel intentional, of like they had no intention of actually making progress on the game because they're not paying anybody to actually do it right, and they're constantly having to like re-explain how, like, what the fuck the person before was doing, because I'm sure they're not staying for several years.
Yeah. I mean, one of the pushbacks they had also was due to a trademark for the name The Day Before, which I feel like was also bullshit. But that was one of the delays they had as well to push it back.
Yeah.
So they had all these fucking delays, overpromised, underdeveloped, and then they wondered why people got mad, which is funny. But anyways, we'll move along. We'll keep it pushing. I think that
I was going to suggest before we start, because we have been running a little bit over, can we take like a 3-minute break, because I really have to use the bathroom.
Oh, I mean, you can use the bathroom right now. Me and David could just talk about some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll just chat. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Anyways, what's going on?
I'm still fucking heated.
Okay, well, while you're being heated, let's go ahead and give some congratulations, which we already did give at the beginning. But David, you're about to hit 100 subscribers. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling proud of myself.
Really? Because I thought you were feeling frustrated. What's going on?
Oh, I'm feeling proud of myself for, sticking to YouTube, but I'm feeling frustrated because dog shit companies think they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Okay, buddy. I mean, you know, obviously Fntastic isn't the only company that's doing something like this. Again, you know, obviously Ubisoft, which I don't want to keep saying these other companies because they actually at least deliver a product that's somewhat similar to what they teased. And I mean, Cyberpunk, I don't know how many revisions it went throughout its entire development. I'd think being a 10-year difference, they would do something crazy. And I mean, they did. You know what I mean? Like, even though people were mad at the launch, you know, this game eventually won, what was it? It won a fucking award for best game. Was it best? Not the best game of the year, but what was it? Best action game, right? Or no, best continued series. Because Fortnite fucking lost it, which I think is bullshit, but Cyberpunk won it. But it just goes to show, you know, games like Cyberpunk, games like No Man's Sky, they release with terrible reviews, they overpromise, underdevelop, and then the game eventually does become something, but they have big corporations backing them up. They have an actual dedicated development team working on updates, hot fixes constantly. This game had 4 days.
Yep.
It had 4 days, and they said, nope, we're done. We're not continuing this fucking game, period. Which I think sucks.
I, like, just from that alone, it should show you that it was, like, I don't think after so how do you have 5 years worth of investment money, and then when you release, when you get the money from your game, 4 days after you say we have no money? Where'd it go?
It's called We're Gonna Take It and Run. You know what I'm saying?
That ass, but I will say, for my 100 subscriber special, I will do a face reveal.
Stevie, you've already done a face reveal. That's a joke. I get it. I got him. For his 100 subscriber special, he's just gonna be eating cereal on his bed. Like,
that would be funny though. That would be funny.
Basically stole my fucking idea. Crazy so. All right. Anyways, Macy, go ahead with your topic.
Okay. So my topic is going to be reality shifting, quote unquote. This is a topic that apparently has been kind of going around in certain communities. I specifically saw it on Twitter that there was like a post making fun of people who are doing this and taking it way too seriously. So to just go ahead and pull up like the Google definition, actually the WikiHow definition, because there's a whole article on how to reality shift on WikiHow. So reality, go ahead.
No, I was just saying the fuck. There you go.
Yeah, basically. So reality shifting is essentially like this, it's sort of like a meditative practice, and the best example I could think of that is easily accessible to you guys is sort of like the dream theory from FNAF. So basically, like, when you quote unquote reality shift, you put yourself into a meditative dream state and you shift to another reality in the multiverse. This can be like a different version of your own reality. It can be fucking Harry Potter, like completely fictional. And basically it's based on the theory that like every single reality actually exists. So like Harry Potter is real out there somewhere. Or like if you choose to have apple juice instead of orange juice in the morning, like the branching realities, the multiverse. And you can essentially like manifest by like really imagining which reality you want to be in, and it's out there somewhere, and you close your eyes and you just drift to there. You can set any kind of time ratio. So if you want to spend an hour in true world, spend a week there, like you can do that. It's just this really like fucking goofy sounding thing that is essentially like dream theory. And a lot of it is like, for some interpretations, like you write you write a really like cute little script. You write like, oh, you know, like YN is blah blah blah. Like I'm gonna be like a 21-year-old woman, 5'6", brown hair. Like I'm gonna have sweepy bangs. Fucking ridiculous. And you put that on your pillow and listen to like, it's literally like dream theory, you know, like you listen to the sounds of where you want to travel, and like you try to visualize it as you fall asleep. And it's different from lucid dreaming because you're actually traveling there and it's real, quote unquote. So obviously this is like a kind of crazy concept, but it's becoming more relevant. You know, we have like a lot of different communities on social media, and there's obviously like, this is a niche community, but the reason that it's like getting shat on so much is because people are just taking it like way too far, and it's kind of goofy. So almost in like the fan fiction-esque kind of way of like, people will be like, oh, I was reality shifting, and like I went and I like had a whole affair with Draco Malfoy and like at Hogwarts, and like I actually was the chosen one, like I defeated Voldemort, and like all this dumb shit. And yeah, so everybody's been shitting on it, and that's like a new trend, I guess. I don't know if that's going to become a more popular one or if it's just going to remain within those niche communities. What do you guys think about that? How are we feeling?
What I'm hearing is that someone watched Doctor Strange with Scarlet Witch,
yep,
and they are trying to be quirky and funny because, oh, I found the Grimhold. I'm going to an alternate plane to have sex with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
Basically.
So it's just the question, like, do you think these people actually think that that's what they're doing? Are they that delusional, or is it all just kind of like a, yeah, totally, like I really did like go to fucking Candyland and have sex with whomever?
I believe they actually think they're doing it and they're mentally ill, and I believe there are some that are doing it just to get attention.
That's
There you go.
fair.
I mean, I basically agree with what David just said. I mean, he basically summed it up. I think they're somebody. I want to know who created this, because I feel like they probably did something very fucking stupid, and they tried to blame it on them reality shifting to a different. You know, they thought that they reality shifted, but they didn't, and then they did something stupid, and now they have to face the consequences for their actions.
No, yeah, that's actually from what I remember, because I was scrolling on this a few days ago. I think that was actually like a subtopic of like, what if you do something while you're reality shifted? And it's like a problem. There's a lot to it. Like, I was trying to read into it, but it was just so fucking delusional that I just could not get through a lot of it. That it was like, you have like a home realm, and that doesn't have to be this realm. Like, you can reality shift to a home realm, and then like just occasionally reality, like, this is just another realm. Like, you could just completely abandon this realm if you want to.
Hello?
And I'm like, what?
Can you
Hello?
guys hear me? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sorry, my Discord decided to go into the updating screen,
Oh,
but nothing happened.
boy.
I think I'm gonna get banned. But
Oh, all of my servers are back without the exclamation points.
mine aren't.
Mine
I
are.
get them to close this.
Let me check yours, actually. Yeah, yours says the exclamation point still. The other two don't.
Oops. Okay. Yeah. No. I don't believe any of this garbage, because, and this is a more joking kind of way. In movies like Harry Potter, there is such thing called plot armor. Plot armor is where the character should not be alive or should not do a thing, but it happens anyway because it's a part of the script.
True.
You don't have plot armor. You can't just go up to Voldemort and say Avada Kedavra. You will die instantly. That is playful banter. I don't believe any of this shit is real. Just like that one kid on YouTube that was like, I'm gonna become a Super Saiyan, and then he did some stupid shit. He got made fun of, and he was never seen on YouTube again. I'm sorry if I sounded heated. I've not.
No, yeah, you're good. I'm just trying to. The WikiHow is so like comprehensive. That's kind of hilarious to me. It really is just like, you write yourself your little script, you listen to the fucking forest sounds, and then there's a few methods. You have the Raven method that you like basically spread your shit out, and like you don't touch yourself, and you like do meditation to go to sleep, and then you wake up in your alternate reality, and you have a safe word with somebody in the home reality to like wake you up. It's like genuinely what is the word? When
Delusioned? Crazy.
No, the word for like when you have the swinging ball and
Hypnotism?
Hypnotism?
yeah, it's like self-hypnotism. But obviously that's not what it actually is. You're just overactively using your imagination.
It sounds like they're just falling asleep, and then REMs, you know, it sounds like they're just basically doing with that. And I mean, that also reminds me of what people were doing when it came to, I forgot what the whole fucking trend was, but you listen to these like audio cues, or you listen, it's subliminal, you listen to some of these subliminal sounds on YouTube, and some people think, and this was the whole trend, that they listen to these subliminal sounds and somehow they get like these, I don't remember what they were called, but it's what Asians have, like on their eyes.
What?
It's a specific thing that Asians have on their eyes, that if you listen to these subliminals, people who want to become Asian, like they want to be a part of
hooded
Asian culture.
eyes? Is that what you're talking about?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, they would just listen to these subliminal sounds, and it would give them these like hooded wings or whatever the fuck it's called. And I forgot what the trend was called. Hold on, give me a
No, I remember what you're talking about though. Not specifically to like getting hooded eyes, but I remember generally there was like subliminal sounds that it was like, oh, like if you listen to this, you'll get taller.
Well, it's not the sounds that are doing it. It's your brain that's doing it. Your brain is, because people underestimate how strong the brain is. Like, people who have mental illnesses will see things that no one else can see. People that are that get brain damage believe they can jump off a building and fly. And there are some people where there are cases, multiple personality disorder. That is fucking nuts. The brain there are many cases where something happens and people will start to get new things, I guess, and that's called adaptability.
David, you're talking about actual, like, mental illnesses to people who think that they could become Asian overnight by listening to sounds. Like,
yeah,
we're
just talking like physical changes in your body. Like, yes, there are like psychosomatic things that you can like start experiencing certain feelings. But if you listen to these like subliminal sounds, you're not going to grow an inch taller overnight. And that's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, you're going to feel stronger or like you'll start seeing things, which, yes, like that's still a little bit extreme. Like the brain can do certain things, but if you just listen to a subliminal sound and sit there and be like, oh wow, I'm gonna start seeing the world in pink, wow, this is so exciting, 99.99999% of people don't have enough of a fucked up brain that it's actually gonna do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I know you may be talking like in extreme, which is, yeah, like there are cases.
Yeah. No,
absolutely.
I'm talking about physically. It's like people will change physically in certain situations. That's why I'm saying adaptability. Not evolution, because evolution takes generations, but adaptability. I can't remember. There was this one case that I saw a long time ago. It was a medical case. I have to think about it. Hold up. Go ahead.
I'm confused.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just keep talking, Macy. Yeah, keep talking, Macy.
Anyways, yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling right now, and it's like there are so many like actual people that there's a whole subreddit for shifting realities. And a lot of people genuinely being like, how do I do this? Like, what is this a real thing? Like, it's so sad because it's probably, oh my God, dude, this person on Shifting Realities. Good evening. I am Peter, the 200-year-old shifter who's already written very much around 10 posts. And it's like, they make up these characters for themselves. It's kind of ridiculous, but, I don't know. It's like, in addition to whether or not like we believe those people are feeling like if they actually believe it or not, as I said, you know, even just a quick Google search of shifting realities like leads so many people of question like, what is this? How do I do this? Like, how do I do this? That sounds really cool. Do you think it's bad that this is like these disillusioned people are promoting this shit on the internet, and it's like it's leading so many more people down a negative path, so to speak? Like, how much of this is kind of one of those situations, if you know what I mean? I don't know how else to describe that question.
Well, it basically just sounds like there's somebody who found a way to basically, I don't know, I'm gonna use scam for lack of a better term. Somebody found a way to somewhat scam people into believing that something that sounds crazy as fuck and that their delusion is actually true. They gave it a title, which is fucking reality shifting, whatever that means. And that also brings up the argument if that there's people that are reality shifting, they do bad things as well, like who's facing the consequences for that shit. But the fact that people are believing it just goes to show how gullible this society is nowadays. Like they could fall for anything. I mean, they fell for the fucking day before. So
I just found an actual fucking paper, like an actual NCBI psychology journal paper published in 2021 about this.
Neuroplasticity is what I was talking about. It's not physical change, but it's mental change.
Yeah. Apparently, this came about during the pandemic. And it is essentially an emergent online daydreaming culture. So it's just like not just going to sleep. Apparently, it's like you just, yeah. I was reading that like you can just sit in your chair, and it's like if you don't want to be somewhere, you just don't be there.
Like astroplaning, or I guess not as extreme as that.
Essentially, like you hypnotize yourself, quote unquote, and then like you open your eyes and you're in like the alternate reality that you would prefer to be in, and then you just like exist in that reality mentally, and your body's just chilling. You're visiting your other. It's literally, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, so like Insidious.
Be whoever you want.
Grimhold did the crimes. I didn't.
That's so.
Yeah. So, like, what are the legal consequences of this as well? Like, as you guys said, like, if somebody just did some dumb shit and they're like, "Oh, but I wasn't in this reality. That wasn't me. Like, I didn't know that I was doing that."
I mean, somebody's got to do the time. You know what I'm saying?
So it's very annoying because people will claim like, you know, mental illness when they go to court or when they go to when they go to court.
Yeah.
Trial. So if this becomes a new thing where they're like, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was my alter ego Bartholomew," that shit is gonna be so retarded.
Like, I couldn't have done that because I was at Hogwarts.
Yeah, I couldn't have done that because I was in the planet Jupiter.
Literally. What am I even reading right? The paper actually name drops Harry Potter. That's actually crazy.
I mean, I believe somebody thinks that they actually went to fucking Hogwarts. Like they're just that crazy enough to think
you
that
can't go to Hogwarts. It's called Universal Studios.
It's also called your dreams. Like you can go to bed, close your eyes, go right into REM sleep, and then boom, you're in Hogwarts. You know what I'm saying?
It's also called drugs.
And like it feels real to, like it, the same way that a lucid dream feels real. Like they say that they feel present. It's not just like imagining.
So, does their body not feel pain then at that point, or what? Like if they're feeling
that's a good question.
If they die in their fucking whatever it's called, did they die in real life? Like
that's a good question.
You know, if you scrape your knee, like if you actually fall and scrape your knee, like it sends signals to your, your brain. You feel the pain and shit like that. Sometimes you'll just walk around, you'll see that you just have a random cut or something. You won't even feel the pain until you look at it, and then your brain's like, "Holy shit, what the fuck has happened?" So, I'd assume that's basically what it is. You know, if somebody were to fucking shift realities. And then, somebody just decided to shoot that person in the leg. You think that they would feel the pain or what?
I mean, I'd hope so.
I mean, that'll bring you right the fuck down from your reality. You know what I'm saying? They probably thought they got hit by
you can throw with your left arm.
The Elder One or something. I mean, hey, he must have been reality shifting. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like he must have been trying to get out of that situation. But that is so fucking stupid. Like, are there any more stupid ass terms that the people are making nowadays? Wait, there actually is trad wife. I heard about that term the other day. Trad wife. It's basically wanting a traditional wife that, stays at home, takes care of the kids, who cooks, cleans, shit like that. Like,
okay.
Apparently that has to have a term called trad wife. And I don't even know what the fuck wife means at this point now. Like, what is a wife? I don't know. But David, you want to say something, buddy? Don't type.
So I remember how we talked about do whatever you want to do, just don't involve us. Bro, if you want to go, like, I don't know, go to fucking Super Mario Land and start talking to Bowser and dab him up, go ahead and do it. Just like, don't talk to me about it because it's weird. If you want to be a furry, go for it. It's just,
Bro, you're always throwing jabs at furries for no fucking reason. Like, you always have to bring them up every episode.
Bro, why would you want to be an animal and have sex? That's bestiality.
Okay, are they having sex with animals? Yes or no?
Distinction, bro.
Are you?
No, bro. So they're dressing up as animals, pretending to be animals, and they are having sex in their suits.
In their suits with animals?
I don't know how that works.
It could be.
Okay, you're weird. Okay, like why are you you're literally bringing this topic up. Okay, David, we're literally talking about like delusioned people.
Yeah,
and you just had to bring up furs. Like how? First off, where did you even get this mindset of furries? Like we were just talking casually about shooting someone in reality.
Delusional people.
Yeah, because they don't feel pain when they're getting shot. But what made the distinction in your brain when I said shooting people in reality shifting that made you think furries?
I didn't hear that part. I just.
You didn't hear me when I said that, like, imagine shooting a reality shifter in the leg. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro.
And then you said throw with your left arm. Like
it's like that whole shape shifting thing where they're like, oh guys, that's not my dog out there. Okay, then who is it?
I don't know, Obama, right? Like
people make these horror TikToks and they're like, obviously they are for like, you know, like short horror, and people are like hoping that they get noticed for fame and hopefully become a director or whatever this shit. But some people are like, I hope it's irony, or I hope it's like they're doing it as a joke, where they're like, guys, I think there's a skinwalker outside, and it's just a regular ass fucking dog looking at them, scared to be outside.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back on the topic, David. Is there something you want to say on reality shifting?
I'm
what is
sending
Okay, you might be shifting right now. You might be shifting right now.
tweet that I'm sending.
No, Edward, I'm in the Badlands in T-Borges too. I'm currently feeling that heavy right now.
Bro, I thought you were dead ass about to say I'm in you. Like, but he was like, I'm like, bro, you scared me for a second. Crazy as hell. Like, at this point,
weird.
The only way you're gonna get a friend, the only way these reality shifters are gonna get a friend is if they reality shift to themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be their only friends if they keep doing shit like this. But I mean,
damn, all of these comments are just like, TikTok is fucking up the mental health of the generation, bro.
it is.
Romanticizing schizophrenia is so Gen Z.
I mean, that's
Actually
just
fucked.
what our generation has to deal with now. By the way, we hit our timer, but I just want to say this. I think Gen Z is completely fucked.
Fuck.
People have gotten into the realm that whatever they say has to be true. So if I say some dumb shit like David owes me $5 million,
okay, calm down.
that is true. That is true. You know what I'm saying, David? You owe me $5 million. Like, the fact that people believe shit like this too is what makes it scary. Like, that's what adds to it. Anybody can propose anything they want, but it's the people that believe it that really make it worse. Like, that is crazy as fuck. And I'm going to need a lot of you to believe that David owes me $5 million. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to need a lot of you to believe Edward is stupid as shit for saying that.
They definitely don't believe it because they want me to get some $5 million. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
All right, I'll reality shift to reality phase into a world where I have a gajillion dollars, and then I'll give this one.
How do you
And just corner shift there, bro.
Yeah, I'll keep coming back and forth to give you the money.
Now, what about those people that reality shift to actually have a job? Like, where does the money go that they worked? I don't understand.
I mean, if they reality shift to that, like, in that dimension, they have the money. But
So wait, if someone's homeless, and they
physical
reality
body
shift,
reality, it's completely different. Like, they're not shifting to acquire things for their current reality. They're shifting to be in the other reality. That, like, they're walking around in that reality while they're sitting, like, their fucking physical body is just sitting there rotting away.
that's so delusion. Fuck.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like, you see all this shit, like, I'm gonna perma shift, like, I've got the plan. I'm like, are you killing yourself? Like, I don't get it.
Damn,
'Cause-
bro. Okay, buddy. You said enough. You said enough.
Okay, yeah. You said too many words.
First, you said simp. You said incel. You said to kill yourself. Like, bro, at this point, Macy, you might
Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we are done with the podcast. Have a beautiful night, sleep well, and tell everyone you love them. Good night.
I need you to send me the list of words I'm not allowed to say. 'Cause